Heyo.
Heya. What's up? I don't know.
Yeah.
I wanted to do something different than O and...
Right. Just a different vowel.
Just a different vowel.
I like
Hey.
it. Right.
Hey, I.
Hey,
Hey, you.
Hey, you. Hey.
Hey.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Good.
I don't know.
Hey, you guys. I am Emily.
I'm Madison. And this is Bracket Babes.
Bracket Babes.
Woo.
Back again.
Back at it. Here we are.
And what are we doing today,
Today
Madison?
is an exciting day.
Yes.
We love it. You love it.
We
the
all
world
love it.
loves it.
Can't get enough of it.
Really can't. The one, the only.
Tiger King.
Absolutely.
Woo!
Today we will be looking at the characters of Tiger King.
To find out who we think is the best.
Yes. And, but first, to clarify, we have removed Joe from the running.
Right.
Sorry, Tiger King.
Sorry, Tiger King. It just didn't feel fair.
Right.
And also, he's in jail. Murdering cats.
Murdering cats?
We don't put up with that. Animal abuse? No.
But murdering husbands?
Murdering husbands?
Yes. Anyway,
Yeah,
so
okay.
we're basically picking, like, the best, kind of like side character, because the show is Joe Exotic. He
Yes.
is the Tiger King.
Exactly.
So we're looking at most of the other characters from the show.
Mm-hmm.
So, Emily, why don't you read us our list?
Oh, with pleasure.
And we may have to do a little descriptive.
Yes.
of
Just to
who
make
these
sure.
people are.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
you might know what they look like, but
Exactly.
not their name.
Totally.
Yes. Okay. So, first up, we have Eric Cowie, which is it Cowie?
No, I see what you meant by this. So I said Eric with a K.
Uh-huh.
This is what I meant. But then Cowie with... It's
Got
cool.
it, got it.
Eric Cowie, I think that's how you pronounce it.
Yeah.
He's got the long blonde hair.
Yes. Yes.
And he just gives
Some
it to you straight.
missing teeth.
Some missing teeth.
He loves the tigers, though.
He does.
Yeah.
He's there for the
So one of
tigers.
the employees.
Yes.
So we have him versus Jeff and Lauren Lowe, which
She's the redheaded wife.
he's the
he's the current
pig.
owner.
Yep.
Yep. Of the GW Zoo.
Yes.
And they have a nanny now.
Yeah. So we also included the nanny in there.
Why not?
Why not? So we have those two up against each other. We have Travis, rest in peace, versus Howard Baskin, which is Carol's current husband.
Yes. Yes.
So then moving on, we have John Rinke. He is one of the employees. He's the man who has prosthetic legs.
With the clowns.
And he is up against John Finley, which is the man that Joe's
ex-husband now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then we have Joshua, the Joe's campaign manager.
Yep.
Versus Tim Stark, which he is the one who is currently with Jeff Lowe.
But then he broke off again.
See,
it
again. There's a lot. But he's
he's
the one who had the monkey
Yes.
always on his chest.
Yes. Absolutely.
So pure.
Mhm.
Okay. Then we have Saf. He's
guy
the
who-
one
yep.
who got his arm bitten off.
Yep.
And then we have him up against Rick, who is the producer of the show that was going to happen.
Yes.
And the internet show. So then we have James, who is the guy who's working with the feds, versus Carol Baskin.
We all know who she is.
Duh. Then we have Dog.
Doc.
Well,
Hey.
Doc Bhagava Antle up against Barbara Fisher, and Barbara Fisher is the one who worked for Doc. And again, just want to say that this is a random generator.
Yeah,
that we
don't
use.
make these pairings.
We don't make these up. We just hit generate and write them down. So
That's
it's
what we
crazy
got.
that these people are up against each other, but
Hey.
okay. All right.
Yeah.
And then lastly, we have Dawn, who is Carol's second husband, the one that went missing, murdered, whatever.
What? Oh.
Huh?
Who's he up against?
He's up against Alan Glover, which he is the one who
Was contracted
by Joe to kill
Carol. Yeah.
So let's
So that's
dive
kind
in.
of fun. So those are our top 16.
Yep.
Randomly generated.
Yep.
And we're just going to kind of go through and pick the best. I don't really know how we would, like, what categories we're going to be thinking about. Maybe just their story over the course of it, how much of an asshole they are versus how interesting they are.
What they brought to the show. Yeah. Like, if they added the drama.
Right.
Like, if they provided good entertainment, I'll take that into consideration.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Let's do it.
So, first up, we have Eric Cowie versus Jeff, Lauren, and their nanny.
Mm-hmm. You know, it's you think this is kind of an outbalanced group here because you've got 3 versus 1.
Right. But Eric makes up for it in just his ability to not give any shits. Mm-hmm. But all of the shits that he does give is to the tigers.
Right.
He cares about those tigers so much.
And out of the people on this list, there are very few that actually care about the tigers.
And, like, genuinely good people.
Yes. And while Eric has, like, a tough outer edge.
Right.
He loves those tigers.
Yes.
And there's a lovable side to him.
Oh, yeah. I don't think that there was a second in this documentary series that I disliked Eric.
He was just too genuine.
Through and through.
Right. And then you've got Jeff, who I couldn't stand.
I could not, because he's an asshole. He's awful.
Right. And the fact that Lauren is, I mean, the views he has on women.
Yes.
It's so misogynistic.
Yes. After you have that baby, you need to get back in the gym. We're getting a good body. We're picking a hot nanny.
A hot nanny. What? What does that matter? How would you pick somebody who can care for your child the best?
Right.
Like, if they're hot, cool, whatever. Cool. But maybe think of your child first.
Yes.
Like, and Lauren, he was married to somebody else and started hooking up with Lauren.
Right.
Like, it's just...
Oh, he's gonna for sure have sex with the nanny.
Oh, for sure. So,
but I wonder if they're gonna, like, bring her into the bedroom.
It could be.
You know?
It could be. She was cool with it.
Yeah, she was cool with it. But also in their... Because there's a follow-up episode on Netflix that was released that's, like, interviews with all of the people. So if you haven't watched that, watch it. But in it, she was like, oh, yeah, she's hot.
Yeah.
You know? So I feel like she's into it.
I guess so. Yeah.
I don't know.
But they did risky things. They took tigers into hotels in Las Vegas.
Suitcases.
Yeah. That can't be safe.
No.
Like, exploiting the tigers to the max.
Yes.
So, Eric, you have my vote.
Eric has America's vote, I feel like. Eric? Wait, is it a C?
Yes. The last name is with a C. Yes.
Okay.
Bam.
Perfect. All right. Eric, lovely. Next up, we have Travis, rest in peace, versus Howard Baskin.
Ooh.
This is a tough one.
It's interesting because we got to meet Howard. We got to hear him talk and give his side. And Travis, it was all, you know.
Just shooting guns and...
Right. We never heard him really talk to us.
No.
And I feel bad for that. You know something's wrong when you're watching a documentary and they're just showing videos of somebody but never an interview.
Right.
And you're like, oof.
Ooh, they're probably not alive.
And unfortunately, but I love Travis. Travis is a place in our heart because he reminds us of somebody in our lives.
Yes.
Whose the vibes are just like...
So similar.
So similar. And he's living his best life, so you go. But Travis, I feel really bad for Travis. Like, he got sucked into this life, and you could see when he did his first interview how young and bright and, like, excited he was.
Yes.
And then, like, how mentally he seemed so...
Drained.
Yeah. He just, like... He had that freak out where he, like, was punching the car or the trucks or whatever and just talking about how his husband didn't care about him and didn't want to hear what he had to say.
Right.
And it just, like, I really felt for Travis.
Oh, yeah.
And felt like there was so much potential there that we didn't get to see.
Yeah.
It was interesting. I felt like Howard Baskin kind of took over in the interview portion when he was talking about the legal stuff versus Joe. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
It was like Howard took that story over.
Right. Well, and I actually have nothing against Howard.
I don't either.
Like, besides those wedding photos, perfect. My dream man.
Yep. Yep.
So if you're not familiar, he did a wedding photo shoot with Carol. Mm-hmm. And it was her in her wedding dress, fine, whatever. But he was wearing, it almost looked like a Flintstones, like, caveman kind of one shoulder covering thing.
Yep.
And he was on a leash. And he was on all fours. And Carol was holding said leash.
Mm-hmm. And she was dressed normally.
Correct.
White dress, flowers.
Yeah. So he must love her.
Yeah.
Which also you'd have to love someone, like, a lot.
Yeah.
Because, like, I could not live in that house with all of those cat print things and themed items.
No.
That's a lot.
It is. I agree.
But, like, he supports her through and through. Which, like, he is a good husband.
Yeah, he is a good husband.
And he's probably doing it so he doesn't get murdered. You know?
I mean, we can't deny that as an option. That could be out there.
Right.
Who knows?
Oh, I saw this one thing. My sister sent it to me, and it was a Facebook post that Carol put for their anniversary. And it said, Happy anniversary. I can't wait to spend the rest of your life with you.
Uh-huh.
Your life.
Your life.
Not my life.
My life.
So,
yours.
He better watch his back. That's all I'm saying.
So what do you think here? Travis versus Howard.
I think
Howard adds to the story, the legal battles, a lot.
But Travis
with his suicide, unintentional,
like accidental.
Yes,
it wasn't even.
Yeah, it was an unintentional, inflicted. I don't know how to describe it. That was a story plot as well,
right?
And so it's really hard. What do you think?
Also, Travis is really good looking.
That gives him a lot of points, not gonna lie.
Because Howard, I'm sure he looked like a nerd in his prime.
Oh, yes.
There's no way he didn't.
No, I agree.
But who... What are you thinking?
I am feeling that it's almost... I feel like there would be no Howard in this story without Carol. You know, it's almost like they're a package deal in kind of a way. Like, if Carol wasn't there, who is Howard? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so, and the legal stuff, she could have explained as well. Mm-hmm. Like,
true.
You see what I'm saying?
There's no use for him.
There's no use for him. But Travis was important for the craziness of his relationship with Joe.
That wedding
freeway thing. And just the guns, the... crazy, the meth, the whatever.
Yeah.
And then his death. Mm-hmm. And then Joe's new husband comes along. So, we're going to go with Travis on this
We're going to go with Travis. Rest in peace, baby boy. Okay. So then up next we have the Johns.
Okay.
So we have Rink and Finlay. Mm-hmm. I really love both of these guys.
I do too, but I've got to say, I have some sort of pull for John Finlay.
Oh, duh. Yeah.
Because, I don't know, John Rinke, I hope that's how you pronounce the last name, with the prosthetic legs, like, seemed kind of like an asshole, you know? Mm-hmm. And, like, I don't think
he cared about the Tigers.
Yes.
And he even said that. Like, he's like, I don't have many friends.
Right.
Because, like, I am an asshole.
Right.
He even said it himself.
Right. But it's interesting because you look at Eric, who is also that kind of asshole personality. He just felt more genuine to me.
Right.
But I'm happy. I mean, John Rinke is doing better nowadays.
Yeah.
He's got a new girlfriend.
Yeah.
Living his life.
They look so cute together.
They do look cute. But I think John Finlay played more of a central role in the Tiger King story.
Right.
And he's looking great now, too. Mm-hmm. Got the new teeth. Got the weird tattoo covered up.
Right. But I do want to see
the final
tattoo.
Yes. And also, like, the cover up the bowl or whatever. I didn't think it looked that bad.
No.
Considering they were going over, like, thick black lettering.
Right.
I was like, yeah, that looks fine.
It was good. You could still see some of the wording, like the letters on the upper side.
Hate.
Right. But also, that was just, like, in process, you know?
Yes.
Like, of course he's going to cover the rest of it. Whatever.
Anyway.
So
John, he plays a bigger role. And it's interesting to see how his story played out in the end, too.
Oh, yeah. With the secretary having a child.
Yeah.
Getting new teeth.
Yeah.
And new facial hair.
It's like, that's almost like the story Travis should have also had, of being able to escape that world and find happiness.
Dang.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, next.
Campaign manager Joshua versus Monkey Man.
Okay.
For me, this is easy.
For me, it's easy too.
The campaign manager.
Got it.
Didn't know you were going to count down. Cool.
Okay, the reason why, though, is because Tim is also a misogynistic asshole.
Right.
Like, he loves Doc Antle because of his control on women.
How do you train those women?
Yes.
I get how you train the tigers. I don't care about that. I just want to train the women.
Yeah. No, thank you. Gross.
Gross.
And Joshua seems really authentic.
Yeah.
Like, he wants to, like, go out there and, you know, change the world politically. Like, and he's not afraid to say, fuck the feds. Like, he has been positive on that account. Like, he's like, yeah. So I love that for him. He went through some hard stuff.
Oof.
Just watching that reaction from him was crazy. Mm-hmm. And him explaining it later in the interview, which you guys should watch, was also just really, like, you felt that for him.
Yeah.
So.
And I'm surprised that he is still so positive.
Yeah.
And he hasn't kind of, like, gone crazy.
That would be really dark.
Because, oh my gosh, yeah. And not being able to get the help that you need.
Right.
Because he talked about not being able to go to counseling because, like, Joe wouldn't let him or
pay for whatever. Yeah.
So it's just a major yikes all around.
Yeah, I agree.
But, yeah, Joshua does win this round.
Okay.
So, Saf versus Rick, which this is a tough one because I do love both of these characters. Rick, the producer.
Yes. Okay.
Versus
Saf. So, you know, I really appreciate Saf. And this is one of the other people that came to mind when I thought of people who really care about the tigers.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Like,
and how could you, like, for me, if my arm got bit off by a tiger, no way, Jose, would I be going back there to continue working. And, like, looking at that tiger every day. Mm-hmm. No way.
Yeah. Right?
So the fact that he still does that.
Well, and I love the point that he made in the interview later where he was like, these animals should not be in cages, but they can't go back to the wild either. So they need to be treated with as much care as they can.
Exactly.
Now. Yeah. So I really appreciate Saf's opinion on that. But Rick is interesting too, because if it wasn't for him, like, Rick, in my mind, pushes the story further.
Oh, yeah.
Because he came in to produce the TV show.
Yes.
Like, the whole throne cape thing. That was all him.
Yes. Well, and it's also interesting that these two people are put up against each other because they both like, lost something huge.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like Saf with his arm and Rick with all of the footage.
Yes. Because, like he said, that was his retirement plan.
Yeah.
But, and then you have the whole storyline with the film studio.
Yep.
Catching on fire and all those alligators dying.
Yeah.
And the fact that that really could have been Joe's doing.
Oh, it was.
Because there's no, you know, why would Rick blow up his own studio? But they tried to peg that on him.
Yes.
I don't know, and he felt really real to me. So I think on this one, I really like and appreciate Saf. But I think it has to go to Rick.
That's what I'm thinking too. Yes. But I did see a, like, Twitter thread, and it was of one of the producers of the documentary, and he was just going into details further. Okay. And he said that it was 100% Joe who burned down. Yeah.
Crazy. Crazy.
Because you see that interview,
with his lawyer,
but like them talking with his lawyer, and he's like, "Are you getting what I'm saying?" And Joe's like, "Yeah," which is crazy because it was John's alligator or crocodile, whatever was in those things. So he did that to his husband,
right? True. Which is messed up. And then Joe used that as a platform for...
Yes, for Carol.
Yeah, and everything else. PETA, whatnot.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Yep. Well, and also, in the last episode, interview part, Rick was talking about how he feels like he did wrong by not going to the feds.
Yes.
After all of that stuff happened. But how he just got wrapped up in it.
Yeah.
And I feel bad that he's still having, nightmares too.
About it.
That sucks.
True.
So, anyways, Rick won that. James... with his beautiful hair.
And jet skiing abilities.
Yes, versus Carol Baskin.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's a lot here.
There's a lot to unpack.
Carol Baskin.
Yes.
Killed her husband, whacked him.
Yeah.
Can't tell me that it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Anyway, she's a huge part of this documentary.
Oh my gosh. Clearly, yeah. Well, and I think it's hilarious because someone comes to you pitching this idea for this documentary.
For, a Blackfish version of tigers.
Yes.
Right.
And they're like, hey, we're going to talk about your big cat rescue.
Yep.
Your tiger sanctuary.
Yep.
And now the whole world knows that she killed her husband.
Right.
It's just so funny to me that is what
and the fact that she is no better than Joe.
Right.
That she sells tickets. She doesn't pay people that helps care for the cats.
Exactly.
It
makes it an opportunity for them.
And we never really did get to see, the full picture of what the care of her cats looks like.
Yes.
For example, near where we are, there's a sanctuary for, big cats and things like that. And from what I've heard from people who've gone there, it's big open,
huge
acres.
Open.
You are not able to get close to the cats at all.
It's a
from
aerial
above, walkway to look down and see them living natural lives.
Yes.
And to me, that is what these sanctuaries should look like.
Well, and in their Joe and Carol's defense, they have so many cats.
Right. Well, we actually don't know how many cats that Carol has.
Oh, that's true.
Because Joe was saying that she only has 12 or something like that.
Right.
Which then would mean they have more space or whatever. But
but she claims that she has so much more.
Right. And then Joe, who purposely, is breeding.
Yes.
Tigers.
And that's where he's more wrong than Carol.
Yes.
On the care level of the current tigers, they're pretty similar. But in the regards to the tigers' well-being,
yes.
Carol has a
yes, I agree with that.
I agree with that one.
Then we have James, who he's our FBI informant. James is a mystery to me. Because they keep talking about how he's got this other illegal activity. The only reason he joined up with the feds is so that he didn't get prosecuted on some other thing.
Which, that's intriguing.
It's literally unknown, though, what this thing is. They talk about him stealing a, car or whatever. But, in the grand scheme of things, that is not big enough.
No.
So, what did he do?
And did the lemur come with him on his journey? Oh, that lemur.
That lemur there from day one.
And we can't forget the jet ski.
Of course
that scene with his wonderful, grown out bowl cut is how I would explain it.
I agree with that.
Middle part grown out bowl cut.
Yes.
Just flowing in the wind on the top of this jet ski.
Yep.
Riding into the distance.
Yeah. Majestic.
Majestic.
We do have to thank Carol, though, for all of the reenactments, though, that have come since then.
Right.
The girl from SNL.
Oh, yeah. Chloe Fineman.
Yes.
Yes.
So great.
Hey,
it's so fun.
Kitty by the lake. She does
cool cats and kittens.
Hey, cool cats and kittens. She does very well.
Yes.
And there are, people on TikTok who are, making all of the... this is yes, about Joe Exotic, but Carol
is
right
number
up
2
there.
almost.
Yeah. So I think that she has to beat out James.
Yeah.
And just her story is wild.
Mm-hmm.
Like, throwing the potato to get out of the house from her first husband.
Yes, there's a whole...
Meeting Dawn.
Yes.
By him, like, she was walking. Ooh, also, that was on, they showed the street in Florida, wasn't it? But that's where a lot of, like, prostitutes are on.
So it's kind of like...
So she might have been doing that.
Sex worker.
A sex worker.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Which, more power to her.
Yeah,
you know?
whatever.
But then a guy coming and being like, I just need someone to talk to was in air quotes.
But they did end up hooking up that night.
Right. Do you think that the gun was held to his head, like, that whole time? Like, while they were hooking up?
It. Ooh, could be.
You know, because
I
in
won't
the car...
kill you, just hold the gun to me and we'll be fine. Trust me.
Yeah, so...
It's kind of, who knows?
Anyways, Carol Baskin.
Got it.
Good. Next, we have Doc Antle versus Barbara Fisher.
Mm-hmm. It's too easy. It's Doc. We should talk about them a little bit, but Doc is so wild. I was blown. I think people are so attracted to this because we have these crazy characters. Yeah. They're so crazy. They're so weird. It's not just Joe.
No.
Everyone here is a character. And they're all real.
A big cat.
Yes.
You're
crazy in some format.
In some way.
Yeah. So Doc Antle is formed his own cult in a way.
Yeah. Lifestyle.
Okay,
Doc.
Lifestyle.
Okay.
Right. And it's just so crazy with these different women who come and stay and change their names.
Yeah.
And we find out about that through Barbara.
Yes.
So she really does open up our eyes to his world.
Because if you didn't get Barbara, you would not know the inside scoop about how everything goes down.
Right.
Because she was, 17 when she went?
And the manipulation that goes into it.
Yep.
The fact that they work, 7 days a week, nonstop. Mm-hmm. And she was like, I was just glad to sleep after they forced me to get the boob job.
Yes.
I could sleep. That was the best part.
Right.
I was like,
that was wild.
Yes.
Wild.
I'm just glad she's
out of it.
Yeah. And can look back on it and be like, wow. Mm-hmm. Because there's women there who've been there 20
years. Yes.
And are still part of it. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm. I just don't understand how you could do that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I work 3 days in a row, and I'm like, bleh.
Right.
And that's only, 5-hour shifts. How would you do
7 days a week?
Not even 12 hours. It's,
14
or 16 hours. Because they were saying that it's 8 in the morning to midnight.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. So 16-hour days,
every
7 days
single
a week.
Day.
There are no holidays.
No.
So that's crazy. But yeah, he plays a big role in it. He's connected with, Joe. He's connected with, we heard about the drug dealer character who now has a bunch of big cats and they raise monkeys and stuff like that. So there's that connection there.
Right.
And we just see a different world at Doc's Zoo.
Yes.
More professional almost.
Right.
More clean almost.
Yeah.
It does feel like a better operation, like it's managed better or something like that.
Right.
Not that it's best for the cats.
Right.
But he keeps a tight system, clearly.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got a whole compound with houses on it where each of his gals live, and it's intricate.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got it figured out somehow.
Right.
So, yeah, it has to go to him in this case, but it is wild.
Mm-hmm. What's your doctorate in? What was it? Like mystical sciences or
yes.
something?
Yes. He's the doctor of mystical sciences.
Yeah. So
anyway,
there's that. That's rounding it out. Oh, and then lastly we have Don.
Mm-hmm.
Also, rest in peace.
R.I.P. Don.
Who knows though? He disappeared. He could be in Costa Rica.
There is a chance.
Just chilling the fuck out.
There is a chance. It's true. Like, he might be like, you know what? I don't want to deal with my family. I don't want to deal with Carol. I don't want to deal with anything. I'm going to take... He's probably been hiding money somewhere.
Oh, my gosh,
years.
yeah.
He's like, I'm going to take that money. I'm going to go. I'm going to dip. I'm out.
He could have a new name.
Yeah.
Like a new identity.
Yeah.
New bank account.
Absolutely.
Be a trillionaire. We don't know.
We don't know.
He could be chilling.
I hope that's the case.
Right.
However.
There
is another case that he is dead.
Moror.
Yeah. But there's also the case where he flew over whatever in his own plane and crashed in the ocean.
Right.
That's also an option.
Right.
So there's lots of options with Don, which is kind of fun.
And we'll never know.
That's the sad part.
The sad part.
But you have to think, without Dawn, there is no Carol Baskin.
Right, because she got all of her money for Big Cat Rescue through that.
Through Dawn. Yes. Absolutely. That's what's crazy. Is Dawn is the reason we have Carol.
Yeah.
Because he was interested in the big cats.
Right.
You know?
Right.
He was the one that was like, yeah, let's buy these. Let's do it.
Yes. But what's also interesting is Carol does, like, videos and stuff about, like, how to breed.
Yes. And how to raise the babies.
Uh-huh. How to keep them as pets.
Yep. Which, it's curious.
It's curious.
It's
mighty curious.
Like, Carol, who are you?
Yeah.
Where are your allegiances really?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Against Alan.
Who
was hired.
Interviewed.
Allegedly hired, I guess. Or actually hired. Who knows?
Yeah.
To kill Carol.
Yep.
But he took the money and went to party instead.
Which is fair.
Pretty legendary.
I'd say.
Like, yeah.
Because you don't want to, like, end up in prison.
Mm-hmm.
So you might as well just take that money and run. Go with it.
Party.
Yeah.
So while he may have been the vehicle for, Joe getting into prison, at that point the story isn't as exciting anymore.
No. But also, it wasn't, like, all that Joe was thrown into prison for. Like, that was what they, like, got him on.
But then there was the cat.
Many other things.
So, I don't know. I actually feel like Dawn should win this one.
Oh, yeah.
So
that's what I'm thinking.
We'll put Dawn ahead. Sorry, Alan. You weren't weird enough for us.
You weren't, even though you did have that interview in the bathtub.
Yep.
Not weird.
Not weird, but whatever.
After everything we've seen, an interview in a
the
bathtub?
Not cool.
Piece of cake.
All right, so those are our 16 characters.
Now,
I can tell we've really gotten into it because we're already past where we usually finish.
Yeah.
These. So we're clearly into...
Yeah, buckle up. For the long haul of this one. All right, so we've got Eric Cowie, versus Travis.
Yep.
I'm saying Eric on this one.
I have to agree. I have to agree with that.
I just truly do.
I feel like it would be different if we got to see Travis, if we got to know who he was more, if we got more of his side of the story
into that.
But we really heard different people's thoughts on Travis, and therefore we don't really know who the real Travis was. Right. Travis married Joe, but then people say Travis was straight, and we don't know his truth.
Mm-hmm.
So the Travis we have in our minds may not actually represent the Travis as he was.
Right.
So,
but Eric, just good guy.
Eric was honest. And we know who Eric is. Eric is hilarious.
When he's smoking a cigarette while pouring the gasoline.
Yes. Don't try this at home, kids.
Funny. And when he's asked how many wives Doc has,
right?
I don't fucking care. King. Yes.
He showed us the side too of the Walmart meat.
Oh yeah,
which that was really
disgusting.
And we also saw him chopping up that cow.
Oh yeah, he's not afraid to just get in there.
Yes,
just do it.
It's crazy, man.
Right,
crazy.
Circle of life. I don't know,
but go Eric.
Go Eric. Woo! All right. Next we have John Finlay versus Joshua. So campaign versus ex-husband.
We kind of have two sides here. We have Joe as seen from his relationship side of things. Then we have Joe and his like political aspirations.
I would say like old Joe versus new Joe.
Old Joe versus new Joe. And they're both different and crazy for their own ways. Yeah. We really haven't talked about Joe's campaign for both president and governor of his state, which he got 19% of the vote for governor. Which means 1 out of every 5 people that voted in that election picked Joe.
Right.
1 out of every 5.
Can you imagine if he won? Like,
that would be phenomenal.
How wild would that be? What do you think? Wait, would he be governor still? How long is governor?
How long are you governor for? Yeah, I don't know how long those.
Because would he be governor during COVID? Can you imagine?
What year was that? It was after the 2016 election.
Right.
I wonder. That's a good question. When that election took place.
Yeah. Because that's wild.
That is wild. His reaction to COVID.
Yeah.
Because I don't view him as a very clean person or very good at social distancing or...
No.
So,
Oh, he wouldn't have shut anything down. His dude for sure would have stayed open.
Stayed open. Essential business.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
It's a good question. So I don't know, but that's, so what are you feeling? What do you feel? New Joe, old Joe?
I really do love John.
I agree.
He was good.
He feels more central. Yeah, I agree.
And I'm just glad that he got a happy ending.
And he was Joe's first husband, maybe?
I think I've seen
first husband. I know, that is tricky.
Yeah.
First husband as far as we know.
Yeah.
And, you know, Joe wrote songs about him and...
Which Joe actually doesn't sing any of his songs.
That blows my mind.
He just performs them.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah.
Anyway,
yet another
we really get the inside view of Joe through John.
Oh, yeah.
Versus just his political aspirations or fame aspirations through Joshua.
Yes.
So.
Yeah. So true.
Okay.
We've got Rick versus Carol.
Oof.
That's a hard one.
This is interesting.
Yeah.
Oof.
I really love Rick.
Well, I'm trying to think, like, if, Carol.
Yeah.
Like, if Joe hadn't pursued, trying to mess with Carol. That storyline would be dead, really. You know what I mean? Like, the storyline of them going back and forth, her, like, winning and him having to pay her back. That really wouldn't be a storyline anymore.
No.
And then maybe he probably wouldn't want to kill her as much. But Rick, without Carol, there's still Joe, you know? And Rick was there to see all of that.
And capture it.
Like, a lot of the footage, I mean, I know a lot of it got ruined, but I feel like there's a lot of footage that we do have because of Rick. Versus Carol, that's like a different part of Joe's story.
Right.
So, I'm trying to say Rick, yes.
Yes.
So, sorry about that. I just had to check something real quick. We're back.
But I, like, You also have a story with Carol with the whole ex-husband disappearing thing.
Right, that's true. That was a whole episode.
Well, yeah.
That was a whole episode of the show.
Right.
So you think Carol?
I don't know.
Carol's bigger. Carol's bigger. We like Rick, but Carol was bigger in the show. It's true. It's true. Yeah. We think Rick's a better person. We like Rick more. Rick's, like, honest. But Carol really, she was a huge part.
Yeah.
Can't discount that.
That's true. All right. Well, we've got Doc Antle and Dawn lastly.
This is interesting.
Which, if we're going off of what we just said with Carol, it should be Doc, right?
Right. He played a bigger role in the series. Because he also had he gave insight on multiple things. Or whatever. Gave his perspective on things.
Right.
Whereas Dawn really was just part of that one episode.
Mm-hmm. So, but now with, like, America, he's huge because of everyone thinking that she murdered him.
Right. But that was nothing he did.
Right.
That's just something that happened to him.
That's very fair.
As a person, we don't know.
Yeah, all right. Okay, so now we have our final four.
Eric, John, Carol, and Doc.
Yeah. Oh, golly. Okay. Eric versus John.
So my thought is, if we're going based off of this, like, bigger role in the series, I'd say we'd have to go with John.
Yeah, but this is also our favorite.
Right. Which we love Eric. But, so I guess we have to kind of talk about that then. Eric, we love Eric.
Right.
We think he's the most genuine person. Right. He cares about the Tigers.
But he's not as big.
And I would say he didn't necessarily impact the story very much. That's kind of like he was just there along for the ride trying to take care of the Tigers while all of this other crazy stuff was going on.
Yeah.
Whereas John plays a more central role in terms of Joe's life, the life he built, and, the stuff with Travis and
all of that.
Yeah, all of that. So I'd say we have to go with John on that one.
Which also, on that front, like, I do feel bad for John because, like, you could tell that he didn't really want to bring Travis into their relationship.
Right.
But he kind of felt like powerless. He needed to keep Joe happy. Right. Because you could see how Joe would get when he was unhappy. Like, I wouldn't want to make that man mad.
Right.
He has so many guns. So many explosives.
Yes.
No way.
I agree.
So, poor John, he just beat out Eric.
Yeah.
Sorry, Eric.
But we love you.
I'll just put a little heart by his name.
Never stop.
Never stop going on. Okay. So now we have Carol versus Doc.
Ooh. This is interesting. To me. Because they're both unique in their own ways.
Yes.
And bring different sides. Because you could just have Doc Antle as another zoo owner, who gives his, information on, why he's a fan of zoos and his up close way of doing things, like the cheetah on a leash that got close to people.
Yeah, wild.
But there's more to Doc than that. There's his 4 partners and his whole complex and his history where he went and studied with whomever. Changed his name to Bhagavan, which means
the Lord
or something like that. And so there's a whole nother side there. I think that's a whole...
Has known that elephant since he was little.
Yes. Bubbles. And so it's, you could have just had Doc as, like, just some commentary.
Yes.
But he was a part of the series as his own character as well.
Right.
So that can't be discounted, I'd say.
That's a very good point. But I also just did not like him.
No, he's
straight
awful.
up
Awful.
Hated him.
I completely agree. Disgusting.
So, like, my vote would be Carol for this one.
Right.
Just because I dislike Doc so much. Because he was manipulative and he was predatory with those girls.
I agree.
And
yeah, I agree.
So I don't think that we should reward that behavior.
I agree. Well, and there's no episodes 4 through 7 without Carol?
Right.
Like, really?
Right.
Because you have the fighting, the lawsuits,
because Doc really wasn't essential.
No.
In this.
No.
He's just another big cat.
He's just another, yeah.
But he would say that he's the best out of all of them.
I guess he would.
But we don't know what he does with his cats once they reach that older age.
Older age, you're right. There's a mystery there.
Mm-hmm.
Does he also kill his cats?
Yup. Or sell them off or do whatever.
Right. Bad behavior. Okay.
So our final list.
So here we are.
John and Carol.
John and Carol.
God. How did we get here?
What can you say? Carol. Carol is the biggest person aside from Joe. She just is. You know? And, but I don't like her.
No.
But there is no Tiger King without an enemy for him to go up against. Right. And in this show, it's Carol.
Right. Right. I just also, like, and a positive for Carol, like, she does go, like, she stops DC, like, she does try to get this legislation and order to stop all of this from happening.
She was part of the reason that tigers with Joe stopped going to, like, malls and things like that.
Right. Like, she has done good work.
Mm-hmm.
She's also done
She doesn't breed the tigers
anymore.
You know, her sanctuary is just supposed to be a place where they live right now. Mm-hmm. So, I agree. And then John, he's just kind of a normal guy.
Yeah.
And we appreciate John for that.
Yes.
We appreciate that he made it out of this crazy world.
Yeah.
That he's a survivor.
Truly, yes.
Of the Tiger King and this world. But I feel like this tiger issue is still ongoing.
Oh, yeah.
And Carol's still a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Both in good ways and bad. But John, I don't think John really had any care for, not in a bad way or a good way, just kind of whatever towards tigers.
Yeah.
You know? So, and he's no longer a part of our world now.
Mm-hmm. So are you saying Carol?
So I'm saying Carol. I think it has to be Carol.
Okay.
I think it has to be.
Okay.
Because in Joe's narrative, I think she takes a bigger part of it than he does. Than John does.
Right.
And that's his husband.
One of them, yeah.
Carol, yeah. And yet Carol is bigger in his life.
Yeah.
So.
That's true.
But we don't like her.
We don't like her. But she did win.
Got it. Anyway. So
there you have it.
There you have it, y'all.
Carol's the winner.
We're the bracket babes. Emily's clearly not happy about this ending, but...
yeah, it's fine. No, we're good.
This is Bracket Babes.
This is Bracket Babes.
That's Emily.
That's Madison.
And
that was Tiger King.
We'll catch you on the next one.
Bye.